All right, so we're diving into automazione digitali today. This excerpt you sent over really seems like you're trying to figure out how to, like, really use automation to kind of, I don't know, I guess kick your business up a notch.
Yeah, definitely. It's a hot topic these days.
Totally, and for good reason.
Mm.
It feels like this whole digital world, it's just moving so fast.
It really is. It's kind of like everything's on fast forward. And you know the author of the book, they definitely agree.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. They describe, they kind of paint this picture of the whole digital landscape, and it's just flooded with information. Like there's too much information, right?
Right.
And customers, they want everything yesterday.
Oh, yeah. The expectations are, like, through the roof.
Totally. And then you've got technology that's changing so fast. I mean, faster than any of us can keep up with.
I feel that, yeah. Just like keeping up with all the new apps and all the new platforms,
Hmm.
it feels like a full-time job sometimes.
It really does.
Forget about actually using them to grow a business.
I know.
It's overwhelming.
It is, yeah. And that's exactly where this whole idea of digital automation comes in. The author is really arguing that it's not just, some fancy extra thing that only big companies can do.
Right.
It's actually, like, essential for anybody, really, if you want to stay ahead, stay relevant.
So it's not just about automating a few tasks here and there. It sounds like it's more about, I don't know, adopting like a whole new mindset.
Yeah, it's like a perspective shift.
Okay.
And they actually call it that, the automation mindset.
Okay. Interesting.
And it's really about it's about seeing automation as a way to kind of unlock your potential. Not just save a few minutes here and there, but really like make a change.
Okay. So practically speaking, how does someone actually develop this automation mindset? I mean, how do you even start?
Well, the book breaks it down into a few different elements.
Right.
One of them is efficiency, which seems obvious, right? But it's not just about like doing things faster.
Right.
It's about constantly looking for ways to optimize, how to streamline your processes, how to cut out all those unnecessary steps.
So decluttering your workflow.
Exactly. Yeah. Declutter your business.
Work smarter, not harder.
There you go. Yeah.
Got it.
And then there's this idea of scalability.
Okay.
So it's about designing systems that can grow, and adapt as your business grows. So you're not just solving the problems that you have today.
Right.
You're planning ahead for the future.
Yeah, because the last thing you want is to be successful and have your systems not be able to keep up. Right.
Exactly. You got it.
Okay, so efficiency and scalability.
Uh-huh. And then there's this focus on growth.
Okay.
So the automation mindset, it's really about embracing those challenges,
Okay.
pushing past your comfort zone, because automation can kind of help you along the way.
So kind of letting go of that fear of, what if my business grows too big?
Exactly.
And trusting that the right systems are in place to handle it.
Exactly. That's it.
I like that.
Yeah. The book also talks about flexibility and being adaptable.
Well, yeah, because everything's changing all the time.
Exactly. You've got to be ready for it. The digital world is always shifting.
Well,
You
yeah.
never know what's coming next.
So is continuous learning, like, is that a big part of this mindset?
Absolutely.
Okay.
You have to stay curious. You got to experiment with those new tools and try those new strategies.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to be willing to, change your approach when things change.
Okay, that makes sense. And it's not just about the technical side of things, right? I mean, the book also mentions innovation.
Right. Yeah. It's about thinking outside the box,
Okay.
coming up with new ways to use automation to solve problems. And, ultimately, to reach your goals, it's about seeing automation as that tool. It's like a tool for problem solving.
So taking a step back, looking at what you're trying to achieve,
Yeah.
and then figuring out, okay, how can I use automation to help me get there?
Exactly. And the book, it also talks about responsibility.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. It's not just about automating everything just because you can. It's
Huh.
about using automation ethically and being aware of the impact that it can have on people and the world around us.
That's a really good point. It's easy to get caught up in, like, the excitement of new technology, and to forget about the human side of things.
Yeah, definitely.
It's about, like, finding that balance.
Right in that balance, using technology, for good.
Right. Okay, so before we get ahead of ourselves and start dreaming of all these possibilities, the book really emphasizes setting clear goals before we do anything else,
Yeah.
before we jump into this whole world of automation.
Absolutely.
It's like having a roadmap.
It is. It is. It's so easy to just get excited and jump into all those cool tools and platforms.
Right.
But if you don't have that clear vision, of what you want to do, you can end up just lost,
Total.
overwhelmed. But if you define those goals, that gives you that direction,
Right.
helps you measure your progress.
Okay, so where do we even begin? I mean, how do we set those goals in a way that actually like works with automation?
Well, the book suggests using that SMART goal framework, making sure that your goals are specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound.
Okay.
So it gives you that structure for defining what you want to do and how you're going to get there.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Right.
But what are some like actual concrete examples of automation goals,
Yeah.
especially for like someone running a business?
Right.
I mean, what would those look like?
Well, the book has like this really helpful list to get you started.
Okay.
And some of the common ones for businesses are things like increasing sales, maybe you want to boost productivity, or maybe you need to cut costs.
Mm-hmm.
So it really depends on your own, specific needs and what your priorities are.
So it's about taking that step back and asking yourself, like, what are my goals for my business? What am I trying to achieve?
Yeah,
And then figuring out how automation can fit into that.
exactly.
Okay, I like that.
Yep.
And once you've got that clear vision of what your goals are, then you can start exploring all the, specific automation tools and strategies.
Okay.
It's like you're putting together your toolbox, but, specifically for your business.
I love that analogy.
Right.
Okay, so we've got our mindset, we've got our goals. What's next?
Well, now we can start thinking about the tools, the actual nuts and bolts of automation. And the book, it really dives into a few specific areas where automation can, you know, really make a difference. One of the biggest ones is content creation.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Content is king these days.
It is.
Everybody and their brother is trying to, create blog posts and social media updates and videos.
Right.
It's just never ending.
It can feel that way. It can be so time consuming.
It really is.
But the good news is there are tons of tools out there.
Okay.
Like tons of automation tools that can help you streamline like that whole process.
Okay, like what? Give me some examples. I mean, I'm always looking for ways to make that part of my job easier. Well, think about like social media, right?
Yeah.
There are tools that will like let you schedule your posts in advance.
Right.
So you're not constantly having to be online, like posting every 5 minutes.
Right.
And some of them can even track, your engagement and analyze what your audience actually likes and what they respond to.
Oh, wow.
So you can create content that really like resonates with them.
That would be a game changer.
Sure.
Because I feel like I'm always playing catch up with social media. What about like other types of content?
Right. Well, email marketing is another like big one.
Right.
So you can use automation to like segment your audience.
Okay.
So you're sending the right message to the right people.
Mm-hmm.
And there are tools that can, trigger automated email sequences based on certain actions.
Oh, interesting.
Like, let's say somebody signs up for your newsletter,
Right.
or maybe they make a purchase,
Okay.
and then they automatically get this like personalized email.
So it's like having this assistant who's always following up and making sure people feel, taken care of.
Yeah, exactly. Like they feel valued.
Right. Right.
And it's not just about like, keeping people engaged or whatever. It's
Right.
about nurturing those relationships,
Mm-hmm.
guiding them through like their journey with your brand,
Yeah, I can see how that would be so valuable, especially like as a business grows.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no way you could do all that manually.
There's not enough time, right?
Right, exactly.
And speaking of scaling your business, the text also mentions marketing automation as like a key area where automation can really, really help.
Okay, so what's the difference between that and like content automation?
Yeah.
Because they sound kind of similar.
They are kind of related, but marketing automation is more about like streamlining and automating your entire marketing strategy
Okay.
across all channels,
Mm-hmm.
not just content creation.
Right.
So we're talking lead generation, lead nurturing, email marketing, social media campaigns, even things like customer relationship management, CRM.
Wow. So it's like a system that connects all the dots and makes sure everything's working together.
Exactly. It's like imagine somebody visits your website.
Right.
They sign up for your email list.
Okay.
Boom. They automatically get this personalized welcome message,
Okay.
followed by a series of emails, but they're all tailored to, what they said they were interested in.
That's amazing.
Right. That's the
Yeah.
power of marketing automation.
That sounds incredibly efficient.
It is.
And I mean, think of all the time and energy that would free up.
Exactly.
So you can focus on, other bigger picture things.
Exactly. And the best part is, you can track your results.
Oh,
You can measure how well it's all working, like every step of the way.
okay.
So you know what's working, what's not working. It's like you've got this built-in feedback loop.
That's amazing. So no more guessing games. You can just look at the data,
Exactly.
make adjustments as you go.
Data-driven decisions.
Love it.
It's about, constantly refining your approach.
Okay, so we've talked a lot about businesses,
Mm.
but what about like individuals? Can automation help, regular people too?
Absolutely. I mean, the great thing is, automation isn't just for like these huge companies or, marketing departments.
Okay.
The text talks about how it can be used to streamline like everyday tasks.
You mean like personal stuff?
Yeah,
Like,
like all that stuff that takes up our time and energy.
right.
Paying bills, scheduling appointments, managing your finances, even things like grocery shopping.
Oh, wow.
A lot of that can be automated now.
That's pretty mind-blowing.
Yeah,
It's like having like a personal assistant for your life.
it is, yeah. And it can make such a big difference, reducing stress, improving your well-being.
Okay, I'm sold.
Yeah.
Where do I sign up for a robot assistant?
Haha, not quite there yet.
Okay.
But, there are so many apps and services that can do a lot of those things for you.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. This all sounds amazing.
Yeah.
But I have to ask, like, are there any downsides? Is there anything we should be worried about with all this automation?
Right. Well, I mean, like any new technology, there are always things to consider.
Okay.
One concern that some people have is, what about jobs? What if automation takes over certain tasks and people lose their jobs?
Yeah, that's a valid concern.
It is. It is. And the author, they address this directly.
Okay.
They acknowledge that concern, but they argue that automation is more likely to, like, create new jobs.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as certain tasks become automated, you need people who can manage those systems, who can optimize those systems.
Right. So it's about adapting and being open to learning new skills.
Exactly. The jobs of the future are going to look different than the jobs we have today.
Right.
And automation is going to be a big part of that change.
Okay, so it's about, seeing this as an opportunity, not being afraid of the change.
Exactly. It's like embracing the future.
I like that. What about other challenges? What else should people be thinking about?
Well, another potential downside is, the risk of becoming too reliant on technology.
Okay.
We have to be mindful, right? We have to maintain that balance.
Right.
We can't let automation like take over every single aspect of our lives.
So use it as a tool.
Yeah, use it as a tool to enhance your life, not to like run your life.
Right. Okay.
And then, of course, there's the issue of data privacy.
Oh, yeah, that's a big one.
Huge, yeah. And security, right.
Right.
I mean, think about it. As we automate more and more, we're giving our information to these systems.
Right.
So we have to be really aware of the risks and take steps to, keep our information safe.
So it's about choosing our tools carefully,
Yeah.
making sure they have the security measures in place.
Right, exactly. It's like anything else.
Hmm.
There are benefits, there are risks, you just have to be informed.
Right.
Make smart choices.
Okay. This has been like a really eye-opening conversation.
Yeah.
I feel like we've only scratched the surface of what's possible with automation.
We have. It's a huge topic.
It is.
But hopefully this gives you, a good starting point.
Yeah,
Something to think about as you explore it more.
absolutely. Okay, so for someone who's like ready to get started, they're ready to actually incorporate automation into their life or their business.
Yeah.
What would you recommend? What's that first step?
Well, the book has some really great advice.
Okay.
And they recommend, start small.
Okay.
Don't try to do everything at once.
Mhm.
Gradually incorporate it.
Okay.
Just start with one or two things.
Right.
Think about those tasks that are like the biggest time sucks, the most repetitive things,
Mm-hmm.
and see if there's a tool that can, help you with those.
So start with one thing, get comfortable with it, and then build from there.
Exactly. Yeah. One step at a time. And remember, there are like so many resources out there, online courses and tutorials, There are communities and forums where you can, connect with other people who are doing the same thing.
So it's not like you're on your own figuring this out.
Not at all. There's a whole community of people who are like passionate about automation.
That's really encouraging.
Yeah. And they're happy to help.
Okay, I like that.
And the more you learn, the more you experiment, the more confident you'll become.
Makes sense.
You'll figure it out.
It feels very empowering, actually,
It is.
to think about, like taking control of your time and your energy.
It is. It's about, working smarter,
Yeah,
not harder.
I love it. Well, this has been a really, really insightful conversation.
It has been.
Thank you so much for sharing your expertise with us today.
My pleasure.
This is great.
Yeah.
It really is amazing to think about, like, how much this is changing, how we do things.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, at first, I wasn't so sure about all this. But now, I don't know, I'm actually starting to get kind of excited.
I love that. Yeah, I think it's really about, shifting how we think about it.
Hmm.
Seeing automation not as the scary thing that's going to take over, but, as something that can help us, like a tool that can empower us, help us do more, achieve more, ultimately, just live a better life.
I love that. Taking
Yeah.
back control,
Yeah.
of our time, of our energy.
Exactly. Focusing on what really matters.
Okay, so as we start, exploring all this, are there any like last pieces of advice? Anything we should keep in mind?
Yeah, as you dive in, just remember to stay curious, stay flexible, and never stop learning.
Okay.
Because, things are always changing. This digital world is constantly evolving. So the key is to kind of embrace that change and just see it as an opportunity to grow, to try new things.
So it's not about finding like the one perfect solution and sticking with it
Yeah,
forever.
right.
It's about being willing to experiment,
Yeah.
try new things, see what works.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to ask for help.
Yeah.
Reach out, connect with others. There are tons of people out there who are, on the same journey.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah, there's a whole community of people who love automation and, they want to share what they know.
I like that. It makes me feel less alone,
Yeah,
trying to figure all this out.
exactly. And the more you learn, the more confident you'll become, the more you'll be able to, really harness the power of this stuff.
Yeah, it really does feel empowering
It
to think
is.
about, having more control over our time and energy.
It is.
Well, this has been an amazing deep dive into the world of digital automation.
It has.
Thank you so much for, taking the time to walk us through all of this.
My pleasure. I always love talking about this stuff.
And to our listeners, we hope this has inspired you to, learn more, explore more, and discover how automation can help you achieve your goals.
Right. Whether it's for your business or your personal life.
Exactly. And remember, the future is like automated, but it's up to us to decide how we want to use it. So, till next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep diving deep.